Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And as you can see from the weather, it is not a nice day whatsoever. I'm on the back balcony looking up towards the hills, and it's just a really miserable day. It's been raining all night. We checked on the little chicks this morning and the mother hen. She's doing all right, actually, and all the little ones are okay. We accounted for all of them. So in that way, at least the chickens are all right. We've also fed them as well. And hopefully they'll find somewhere to get in out of the rain. A lot of the olive trees, I've said before, have lots of little hollows in the base of them. And they're probably all snuck up in there in the warm. That's where they normally go to sort of brood. And also as well, we've got a garage, an open garage area, and they find little nooks and crannies in there to go in and hide out when the weather's not good, or just to go there to be alone to hatch their chicks. So as you can see, looking across to Amber Lockerbie and down towards Kerry, you can't see this on the screen, but there is just a little bit of light over the crest of the hill. If I put my finger up just along here, I can see just a little bit of light. Maybe the sun might come and work its way through, but the cloud is not looking good. I've just had Amanda Gregory's weather forecast. She says, good morning, Ginge. Cloudy with rain today. Highs of 19 degrees. Will feel like 22. Yellow alert for warnings of some thunderstorms. Have a good day. Anyway, cheers for that, my lovely. So therefore, I'm doing my news today inside because it's just so miserable outside on the balcony. And today, I've got to be honest, there's a lot of news today. Things have been really happening within the last 24 hours here in Greece. And also I'm going to be looking quickly at Cyprus as well, our cousins over there. Anyway, quickly then, 24th of April 2021, it's a Saturday, day 169 of our lockdown. Just to let you know, yesterday Jane and I went to do a little bit of research in the pharmacy. Jane is now booked for an appointment to have her vaccination. I'm still not having the vaccination at the moment, but Jane has already been booked in to have her vaccination, the first dose on the 6th of May, and then she'll have her second one on the 27th of May. Can I just say that the pharmacists that we spoke to yesterday were absolutely brilliant. They did take the booking as well for Jane to have her vaccination. The pharmacists think that Jane is likely to have the Pfizer vaccine from the way they're looking at the information that they're getting. And the actual vaccination for Jane, they actually said it'd probably be more convenient for her to be booked in and have the actual vaccination in the afternoons at the main medical centre in town, which is the old ECA building, and she'll have her vaccination there. In fact, another friend of ours had their vaccination there, and they said that they were very, very good, and she was very happy with that. So Jane is going now on the 6th of May and also on the 27th. Also as well, it was announced yesterday by the local hospital here that there's going to be an extra vaccination line put in place. So now we're going to have 6 vaccination lines running across the island. And that is obviously to increase the amount of vaccinations that they are going to carry out through the next few weeks or so. And there'll also be more information on that later in my news. Also, just for those people curious about self-testing like I was, believe it or not, a self-testing kit here in Zakynthos and probably across Greece, a self-testing kit is only €8. That's all it costs, €8 for you to self-test yourself. Then obviously put your result up online through the testing.gov.gr site. However, the ladies in the pharmacy actually advised us that you might as well go to one of the clinics and be tested there. They said that normally the clinics are probably a more reliable test, and clinics here at the moment are charging around about €25 to have a test done in the clinic, and they will take care of the certificate or whatever that you get given, and also the online recognition that you've had the test. So there you go. Zakynthos and Greece are able to do it for €25 to have a professional do it, as it were, and €8 to have a self-test.
Why is the British government charging 120 euros for it to be done? A question that has to be asked. I'm sure if you had to pay 8 euros or 25 quid, 25 euros to have a test, yeah, great, fantastic. It's not going to add too much of a cost to your holiday. But anyway, let's crack on. Let's look at the COVID infection rates in the last 24 hours. Now, infections across the country are actually down, not by much, but they're down by a bit. I did report to you yesterday, it was 2,759. Today, it is 2,754. That means the total amount of people suffering from the virus since the pandemic started has now gone up to 329,134. Now, when it comes to cases coming into the country, there were 12 new cases detected at the border, which was up on the 2 on the previous report. And according to the national stats yesterday, there were no cases reported in Macardo. There were 2 cases in Catalonia. There were 5 cases in Corfu. The national stats say that there were 4 cases on Zakynthos. However, locally, I can only find 1 local case reported. What I have noticed in the last few days here locally, we're not reporting the locally reported cases as quickly as what I would like, basically, and I'm not sure if they would actually report them any faster than they get given the information. But anyway, only 1 case was reported yesterday, and that was through a rapid test done by the mobile health. And at the moment, according to the stats at the moment that I've been keeping, it's 156 cases for the month of April, although the local press are reporting 156 cases for the month of April, but I have recorded 159 cases, but I'm not going to quibble over 3. But anyway, again, the infection rates, again, are sort of up and down, to be quite honest. Now, when it comes to death at the moment, there has been a slight increase on deaths across the island. I did report to you yesterday, we had 75. Well, today I can report there's been 76 new deaths across Greece. And that brings the death toll now up to 9,864. The average age of those people passing away is around about 79 years of age, and 96.4% of them had underlying health problems or were over the age of 70. Also, no deaths have been reported here on Zakynthos, thank God. The only information that we've had at the moment in regards critical cases for Zakynthos is that there are 13 people in the COVID clinic, and there are 3 people on ventilators at the moment there as well. When it comes to critical cases across the country, critical cases in hospitals are down, which is good news. It was 822, and at the moment it is now down to 819, of which 518 are male and 301 are female. Once again, just to remind you that the top limit that the health service here in Greece can cope with is 900, and at the moment the numbers have been going down, which is obviously good news as well. Now, today's news. Last night there was a travel update. The Greek government confirmed that the national ban on interregional travel over the Easter period has been imposed, and it will stay in force until May the 10th, where it will then obviously stop at 0600 hours. Anyway, anyone stopped at police checkpoints without documentation, which confirms that they're making an exceptional journey or have a good reason to travel, will be turned back, and also could incur a hefty fine as well. This is where trying to stop people going back to their villages, trying to come back to islands where maybe they have an ancestral home. But anyway, the police were out and about yesterday. We had some friends of ours who were going to the airport and also to make a ferry connection, and they said that they were checked on the way, and their papers were checked, and they were happy with what they were doing, and they did notice people being forcibly turned back and told to go back into Athens. Now, at the moment, fines can be imposed. And the fines for breaking these new restrictions at the moment, restrictions on movement, are set at €300. Anybody who's caught falsifying documents in an attempt to get out of the cities, i.e. Athens, Thessaloniki, Patra, they can be fined up to as much as €500. And if you're caught doing it both together, they'll put the two fines together as well. So all in all, those people who are thinking about trying to make, in fact, our friend said yesterday they witnessed a man in a vehicle with a load of luggage in the back with his wife and his kids and everything, probably with a cock and bull story that maybe he was going for medical treatment or something like that. They looked at all the luggage and went, oh, right, you're going for medical treatment, are you? Turn around and go back. It's like that. And again, looking at the pictures on the mainstream media of the police checkpoints, you're going to be very careful if you're going to think you're going to sneakily sneak back to your island for Easter. Anyway, an interesting thing, just going back to vaccinations again, this news just came in this morning. From today, the 50 to 54 age group on Greece can apply for COVID-19 vaccination appointments, whilst next Tuesday, April the 27th, the appointment process also opens for the 30 to 39-year-olds as well. Now, next week, the government is to announce dates when the appointment process will open for the 40 to the 49-year-old group, which may then be divided into two subgroups because they're the biggest group in the way of the population, to those of between 40 to 44 and those between 45 and 49. But anyway, as we get more information on that, we'll let you know. And obviously the local press and also the internet will obviously give you information on that as well. Now, yesterday as well, the Greek Deputy Minister of Health, Mr. Vasilis Kostamatis, confirmed that mandatory self-testing of public service employees, including church employees, will start from Monday the 26th of April. So he's given a little bit more time for them guys to get their act together, as it were, whilst mandatory testing for employees in the private sector is planned to start on May the 2nd. So again, that's giving a little bit more time for people to get themselves sorted and also to find out the process of self-testing and also whether vaccination may end up becoming mandatory, but we will see and wait on that. Anyway, also as well, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, confirmed today that negotiations are underway to purchase a further 1.8 billion doses of the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. This will be given to the EU through the vaccine to cover. This will give the EU enough vaccine to cover the population of about 450 million for the next 2 years. So it looks like the EU now are finally getting their act together and getting the vaccine. Notice that they're the ones that are releasing it, and they're the ones that looks like are in charge of releasing the vaccine as well. Now, interestingly, research in the UK has indicated that both the AstraZeneca and Pfizer vaccines reduce the chance of infection after the first dose by 65%, with both producing a strong immune response and antibody production in all age groups. Now, after the second dose of the Pfizer vaccine, it was reported that there was a 90 to 95% lower chance of becoming infected with symptoms and a 70% lower risk of asymptomatic infection. That means not realizing that you've actually got it. Anyway, data regarding the efficiency of the secondary dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine is not yet available due to the later introduction of the vaccine. However, the research confirmed that it was still possible for a vaccinated person to become infected and pass the virus on to others. So even when vaccinated, the wearing of a mask and social distancing should be strictly observed. And just another point to note, yesterday Israel stopped the wearing of masks in their country, and they're now observing the people, as it were, to see how that is going to work out, because Israel has been very good in their vaccination program. So it's going to be interesting to see what the fallout is from Israel with the no vaccination, the no mask rule at the moment there. Anyway, Looking towards Cyprus now, this is other news that just literally come in this morning. The Cypriot government on Friday imposed a fresh lockdown for 2 weeks on Cyprus between April the 26th and May the 9th. In a bid to stem the rapid spread of COVID infections, which are threatening to overrun the Cypriot health system. Anyway, the lockdown will be lifted on May the 10th, but visiting crowded venues will require a negative COVID test or being vaccinated or having gone through the illness inside the past 3 months. Anyway, venues includes catering places, places where people gather, gyms, retail outlets and theatres, and it was not immediately clear if that would include supermarkets as well. Anyway, the new measures, this is in Cyprus we're talking about now, includes a curfew that will start at 9 p.m. Through till 5 a.m. with only exceptional movement of people travelling to work or a health emergency within the home where you need to obviously get to a doctor or to a hospital. Also, interestingly as well, gatherings are also banned, irrespective of a venue, and only one outlying, you're only allowed one outing a day, which you then obviously you text to leave your home. We haven't had as draconian measures that yet here in Greece, but this is what the Cypriots are doing. You're only allowed out once a day, and then you must put a text message in that you're going out. Now, interestingly, you don't need to text that you're going for the vaccination, which is most strange. I would thought if you were going to go for the vaccination, you would do as we would do here. You'd put number 1 on your phone, which means you're going for medical treatment, doctor, etc., the hospital, and you would do that. So being told that you don't need to text to go for the vaccine, I can see people going for a vaccine appointment 3 times this week, if you see what I mean. But so again, a strange little anomaly there in what the Cypriots are doing. Anyway, when it comes to Easter, the Cypriot government are saying that Easter Sunday is exempted from the restrictions. That's what the minister has said. Apart from permanent residents, people from 2 other families can be at home, provided their number does not exceed 10 persons. And that also includes children. At the moment, for Greece here, we've been told technically you can have 9 people in your house from other family groups, and you're allowed 12 if you're out in the garden. So again, but they've not said whether that includes children. So a lot of people are taking it that, oh, they mean adults. So if I've got 5 kids and it's the adults we're worried about, not about the children, again, we're waiting to see if there's going to be clarification on that as we get closer to Easter, which, just to remind you, is next weekend. All right. Anyway, another concerning story with Greece. A Greek prosecutor on Thursday launched an investigation into the deaths of 68 elderly residents of a care home in Hania, Crete, who died within a period of 12 months. Now, authorities have already exhumed the body of an elderly woman who passed away 11 months ago to forensically examine her cause of death. Now, the exhumation took place in the village of Kismos, following an order from the prosecutor there. Medical representatives from both the family and the care home were also present for the exhumation. Anyway, the investigation has spread throughout the island of Crete as the police examined the death registers to identify other elderly people who had stayed at that Pacific institution. Now, the relatives of the 68 deceased are calling for a thorough investigation. They say they were told their loved ones had died of heart failure, but the families are suspecting foul play. Now, the care home, which has not yet been named, denies any wrongdoing. It issued a statement through its attorney claiming that everything has been done properly. It refutes the suggestions of neglect and a cover-up to hide the spread of coronavirus within the premises. Now, according to a report in the prothemia.gr, the authorities' investigations are focused on the possibility that a criminal ring may be behind the death. Now, the report based on the police sources in Crete claims that the elderly were ill-treated, deprived of their medication at the care home with the ultimate aim of signing away their assets, in particular their land. Anyway, the care home expressed surprise and anger at the report, which says it provides no evidence whatsoever. So once again, we'll keep an eye on that story and we'll see what happens. Anyway, and finally, some good news. All right. Alitalia, the Italian airline, they are definitely coming to Greece in the summer. They have announced their flight program, which are going to be flights operating out of Rome's Flamenco airport, with flights to Rhodes, Heraklion in Crete, also Corfu, Kefalonia, Zakynthos, Mykonos, Santorini, Skiathos, Pressova, and also from the Milan Litner airport, they're going to have flights going to Rhodes and obviously the other way back again. Now, for Zakynthos, these flights are not going to start until the 3rd of July, which is not uncommon because normally in Italy we see a big exodus of Italians, normally around about July, who come to the islands on holidays here. So from Rome to Zakynthos, 3rd of July up until the 30th of August, rather a short season. And also for our neighbours across the road in Kefalonia, you're expecting your flight starting on the 3rd of August. But the Italians get an extra day because their last flight is on August the 31st. Don't ask me why, but that's the reason it is. Anyway, so there you go. That's the news for today. Just a quick look at the comments and those people that are tuning in at the moment. Lovely to have you with us. I'm not sure what the weather's like where you are. All I've been hearing is the weather's been absolutely lovely in the UK. A little bit chilly, but at least nice sunlit evenings at the moment on the way. Anyway, Teresa Ann Huggett is watching. Nice to have you looking in. Alf Ling is also tuning in as well. Hilary Rogers is watching in. I did see something about vaccinations from you a bit further down. I'll come to that when I get there, Hilary. Julie Meldrum is watching as well. Nick Haviland over there in the Bedfordshire area is looking in. Karen Bush as well. Nice to see you looking in, Karen. Charles Ballantyne is tuning. Amanda Gregory is also tuning in as well. Alf Ling says, morning, Ginge. Warm and sunny in Suffolk. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Shane Bowen is watching up there on Exmoor. Rena, Pete Dillon, they're over in Cyprus. I hope you're doing all right. I don't like the look of your lockdown that's on the way. It looks we've been in ours so long that it's just become normal now. So for us, you had a bit of freedom and now you've been locked down again. So it must be really galling at the moment. Vicky Wood is also watching as well at the moment. Shane Bowen says, Gallimera Ginge, I can see the light. Laugh out loud. He said, great shows yesterday, mate. Sunny blue skies here. Put up the awning today on the caravan. Bless him. Oh, bless him. Yeah, really great. Had a fantastic live show yesterday. A little tribute to Barry Ampstall for those people who know of Barry Ampstall. Lovely fella. Passed away yesterday. Was most shocked. In fact, somebody came to the house and basically told us that Barry had passed away. He was an enigma, this guy. Very, very gifted man. Mathematics was his thing. He's a character of legend. The stories were that he was a university don. He'd worked on the space program in NASA in the 1960s. He was basically part of the mathematical teams that were doing like the maths, and obviously I think it was Cambridge University that he was a professor for. And then as life went on, he just had enough. He just decided, that's it, I'm dropping out. And so he literally just dropped out and lived for many years. People used to look after him. People looked out for him. He was a character, and the only drink that he drank was Amstel. That's how he got his name. And he was an institution, and he's a guy that's going to be missed. And I know Jane had some involvement with his family many years ago. I'm not going to go into the details. But yeah, it was a sad day yesterday that Barry has basically gone to the bar upstairs, and hopefully there's a few there who met him with an Amstel on the bar ready for him for his arrival. But anyway, moving on then, Billy Hester, he's also watching as well. Hilary Rogers, she said, having my first Pfizer vaccination this afternoon at the hospital. Good on you, girl. You want it? You go have it. And I shall look forward to seeing what your feelings were about having it and about how good the service was as well. So good luck, my lovely. Shane Bowen says, how's the chicks? The chicks are still there. Despite the weather last night, Mummy came up with them all. She's been sat like on our balcony way with the little chicks underneath her, keeping warm. She's eaten well and they know where to come, put it that way. And so, yeah, the chicks are all right. She had 5 yesterday and she's got 5 today, which is brilliant. Anyway, Amanda Gregory, she says, €8 every week. Is that for tourist workers? I'm not sure. As I got the impression that the €8 for a self-test kit was for one self-test kit. Whether it lasts you for a week, or I should have asked that question really, shouldn't I? But I didn't. But it's just only €8. Now, whether it's €8 every time you take a test, that is certainly more affordable than the €120, £120 that you're expected to pay out, obviously, if you want to travel from the UK to go on your holiday. And I had to laugh, and there's Boris going on about, oh, we need to get the cost down to at least 60, so you guys need to sort. No, if anything, it should be sodding free, Boris. People have already paid for it in their taxes. Give it to them for free. Let them have their free movement. And so they can make a choice as what they want to do and where they want to go and not be held hostage by the pharmaceutical companies who are obviously not only profiting from the vaccine, but they're profiting from the actual test as well. So if they don't get you one way with the vaccine, they get you the other way with the test. And at the moment, like I said, in Israel, unless you've been vaccinated or you can prove that you're clear of the virus, you're not allowed to go into bars and you're not allowed to go into restaurants and you can't go shopping. So it's a slippery slope that everybody's on at the moment. And it seems to be Boris is at the top, pushing you down the slide, as it were. Anyway, Brian Slinger is watching. Rafreg, buddy, nice to see you. Keith Jean Bolton, oh, lovely to have you tuning in from York. York, the second most popular place for people to visit, according to TripAdvisor, with Sillery being the third most popular place to visit, according to TripAdvisor a couple of days on their site. Absolutely fantastic. Nice to have you tuning in. Gav Kitchen tuning in as well, for Rafreg, buddy. Good morning from a sunny Margate. How are the chicks? I hope you're having a lovely weekend. Well, we're not having a lovely weekend at the moment. The weather is just abysmal. So we're at a bit of a quandary. The only thing to look forward to is cooking breakfast, and that's about it, I think, at the moment. And maybe a few videos or something to catch up on because of the weather. Anyway, Julie Stapleton Stevens is watching as well. Andrew the Fridge Watkins is watching as well. Sandy Pete says, good morning, Ginge, and all on the rock at home around the world. Thank you very much, Zanti Pete. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Northern Soul Show on beachradio.co.uk. Make sure you come and join us. Steve Hilton is watching as well. Heather Beetham is watching too. Susie Angus, lovely Susie Angus, tuning in. Nice to see you tuning in as well. Alison Wadsworth also tuning in. Nice to see you as well. Dave Lismore says, morning, Ginge. Happy Saturday. Thank you very much there, Dave. Glenn Fraser is also watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in. Also, Mark Pumphrey is also watching as well. Joe Moorcroft is also watching. And who else have we got? Wendy Norcliffe is watching as well. Lisa Goodall is watching. Alan Poole is watching. Hello, Alan, up there at JP's. Nice to have you tuning in. JP's bar up in Laguna. Make sure you go check it out if you get over here in the summer. Hopefully he's still going to be open, turning and burning and doing business. Anyway, Neil Facer is watching as well. Raina Pete Dillon. Ginge, we live in Manchester. Oh, sorry, I always thought you lived in Cyprus. Anyway, thank you for clearing that up. And she says, we look forward to coming to Sillery in June and September. Happy days, and we look forward to meeting you. Where did I get Cyprus from you? I don't know. I might be confusing you with someone else. Anyway, Janet Cooley is watching as well. Also, Stu Ritchie is tuning in. Nice to see you tuning in, Stu. I hope Al is doing all right. And also, Oh God. Ian. Ian is also on the mend as well. So anyway, nice to have you tuning in, fella. Big Al Thompson is watching as well. Nice to see you watching in. Jerry Coyle is watching. Also, Zanty Pete says, hi Dave, hope you're well, mate. And they're all talking to each other in the chat room. Right, that's it from me. I'm going to keep my ear close to the ground. Just to remind you, don't forget my Beats Anthem show going out again for a second time today at 7 o'clock your time in the UK, which is 9 o'clock my time. Come and join us in the chat room. The show is recorded. And the nice thing about a recorded show is you get a chance to really chat to people while the music's playing. Thank you for the comments on the show as well. The show has been doing extraordinarily well. It's also been doing very well on Mixcloud, where it gets loaded up after it's played its 2 times on Beats Radio. And last week it did very nice in the trance and dance chart, which was a real shock and surprise. But anyway, that's it from me. I'll keep my ear to the ground. Hopefully the weather might change or improve. You enjoy your day and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.